Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You've hit the spot. The place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Put your thinking caps on, because the conversation starts now. Okay. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. The spot, the place, the location where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Today, we are going to explore interior design with Glen Boudreaux. And I'm so excited to have him here from Texas. He is an award-winning interior designer. We're going to ask him, what does that term mean, clean lines? What are the trends? But more importantly, how did he get to this space? What drew him to interior design? I mean, it's very unique. You've got to have very high levels of customer service and incredible patience. You're allowing someone to express themselves by their atmosphere, by their things, what's brought into their space, not only their home, but also their business. And we're going to ask him a few fun facts. So welcome him to the show. How are you, Glen?
Doing well. Thanks for inviting me. I'm very grateful to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you. I love it when I have men on my show. You know, people say, oh, I only work with women. Well, too bad.
Well, I work with both as well. So
exactly. But, you know, men bring a different element, a different degree of vulnerability, openness, ideas. And I love that. And especially in the design space. Tell my brains how you show up on the planet. How in the world did you become an interior designer?
well, it was interesting. Even I can remember the first time, second grade, when I ended up starting to draw floor plans for some reason, and rooms with furniture in it and stuff. And sometimes I think I maybe should have been an architect rather than an interior designer, but because I get involved in all aspects. But I think one of the things that I like about the design business is that it's always something different. No two projects are the same, and you get to work with people on a personal level, which I've always enjoyed, and it gives me a chance because my truest passion actually is really teaching. And but it helps me to be able to express creativity in teaching clients what we do, why we do it, and so they can understand more about how we are going about designing and using the design process to work with them to bring out what they really want, but do it in the best design and most possible way to give them, to help them live a lifestyle and to help them live their best life. And that's kind of what it's all about. It's helping other people to live their best life.
They do, but you know, when you're starting with a blank canvas, you have no idea of what you even want yourself. So when they have a consultation with you, you know, it's more than pillows and colors. It's texture, it's positioning of the furniture, it's the era that they want. Tell us some other things that you incorporate in the design element.
Well, to get started, we always have a conversation with the client, because it's all about function first. You can always make it pretty, but if it doesn't function, it's not worth designing. So our whole conversation begins with them. It's, and I tell them all the time, it's not about me. It's not about what I like and what's in style per se. It's more about how you want to live your life, what you like, what your preferences are, how you want the house and the rooms to function. When you walk in that front door, how do you want to feel? When you walk in that front door, what do you want to be able to tell yourself? Oh, this is so comfortable. Oh my God, I feel like I'm really walking into my home. There's a guy we did a project for, and when we finished the project, he says, Glenn, he goes, I have to tell you, he says, this is the first time that I can say that I actually feel like I'm coming home when I get back from a trip.
Wow.
Because he traveled quite a bit for business. And he goes, and I know that my family is enjoying it when I'm not here. He goes, I appreciate what you've done for us. And so that's the thing that, when I see that light bulb come on in somebody's eyes, whether it's teaching them, whether it's doing their home or whatever, and it's just like, that's the golden ticket for me, is knowing that whatever we embark on doing for somebody, that we've accomplished it and we've made them happy and we've improved their life. And that's what it's all about. A lot of times people say, well, what's your style? Well, I don't really have a style. what we do, it's more about the client, the architecture, their style, and the way they want to live their life. That's more where we get all of the ideas and things from. It's not about styles and trends and all that kind of stuff. The styles and trends go and come, you know, and whatever. But people want their homes to last and to be what they want. But if we don't get to know them, then we can never design for them.
Exactly. And then too, you wanted to have a texture. You want to have a vibe outside of the aesthetics that are there. You want to know if they're going to be entertaining there, if there's children there. You know, what colors make you good, make you feel good? Do you like plants? Do you have pets?
All one of the best
are definitely important.
Yeah, one of the best ways of this of understanding what they like as far as colors are concerned, I asked them a question. And the question is, if I went into your closet, what are the colors of your casual clothes that I'd find the most? Because what happens is psychologically, we buy the clothes that we're psychologically comfortable with as far as colors, textures, and those kinds of things. So that tells me a lot about them as well. For price point, our clients are more on the high, or pretty much all high end. But the question that I ask is, if you were going to buy a sofa, what would the price be that you would be comfortable paying for a really good quality sofa?
Right.
And that breaks them into categories. So I know where they are mindset wise, and to be able to understand them more. What are their interests? I had a client who was an amazing cook. I would put him up against any chef in New Orleans as far as Cajun cooking. And his kitchen was designed by the architect, and it was so unfunctional even before I even knew about what he was doing. So when I looked at the plans, we completely redesigned the kitchen. Well, we took them through the process of how do they cook in the kitchen.
Right. And how do they want to entertain? The kitchen area and the family room is the gathering spot now.
Yeah, there's
people don't barely even go into the living room, or as they saw, the seating room, or and then have a beautiful, again, you're dealing with very high-end properties, a beautiful foyer. I'm a flower person. I have to have flowers in my house every week, fresh flowers. It just brings an element of life to me. Was pretty popular, and I don't know, just asking, but people were overdoing that feng shui. I mean, they were, and I don't mean that from a energy perspective, but everybody thought they were a feng shui expert. But the positioning and the way that you enter and the way that you travel around furniture, that is a key element to the design too, don't you think?
Well, feng shui, if you look at all the principles of feng shui, they're basically the elements and principles of interior design. And so because it's space planning, it's texture, it's pattern, it's common sense as well. Nobody wants to have a desk where your back is facing the door. So that's more of a common sense thing. So when you look at really feng shui, it's really the elements and principles of design. And whether you approach it by the feng shui aspect or the elements and principles of design, it's kind of the same kinds of things. The elements and principles of design go into a little bit more detail sometimes than what the feng shui does, but it's a belief. It's and that's kind of one of those things that people use, and when people are comfortable with that, then we can talk in those terms. But it's more about elements and principles of design and function. That old adage, function first, or form follows function. So
window treatment, people don't take that into consideration too. Window treatment. Do you want me? I like draperies and I like carpet still. People don't like carpet anymore. They like the hardwood floors or the ceramic tile floors. And again, it's a personal choice. You have many options to choose from.
Yeah, and it's more about people being able to understand what they are going to get in the end. So our job is to educate them and to help them visualize what it's going to be when the project is finished. One of the things I've heard, which I've never forgotten, and it came from Mike Vance, which was part of Disney years ago, and he said the best definition of selling that he had ever heard is giving the consumer enough information to make an intelligent buying decision. And when you can do that, and then you come from the aspect of being of service rather than trying to provide service, that's two completely different things. And then also the idea of kindness. We get that whole idea of customer service, and we've gone beyond that. But to be able to do that is what I've said at the beginning, that you have to have the conversation and get to know the client. And that old adage of the golden rule is so wrong. The golden rule says treat others the way you want to be treated. Well, the golden rule should really say treat others the way they want to be treated.
Right.
And
But
that's
you know
the
what?
true,
I have to park
that's
my
the
brakes
true
on.
version of customer service.
Well, I have to park my brakes on there because you know what? You have to train people. You have to teach people how to treat you. Everybody's level of service, everybody's expectation is not the same. Everybody's level of tolerance is not the same. So all of that,
right.
It's a give and take. And customer service, I have been trained by the world's best customer service people. Give people options. Give them choice.
Yeah.
Don't back them in the corner. No. Okay, no, but ... Give them options and be a good listener. Hear what they're saying. Don't always be all that jaw jacking and talking and all that, because that's a selling job. And sales is really psychology.
Well, the thing about providing and educating the client, if you educate them enough, you don't have to sell. They'll want to buy, because nobody wants to be sold. People want to buy. People want to purchase. So when you can become the type of person that educates them and give them enough information to make the intelligent buying decision, then you don't have to sell. And that becomes much more of being of service aspect rather than trying to provide customer service. And I think being of service and kindness, that kind of goes back to the Buddhist mantra of kindness and mindfulness, being mindful of who people are, what they think, and respect that in other people to be able to gain their know, like, and trust. To be able to be of service to them.
Absolutely.
We can't do it without getting to know them. Like you said, we have to know the client.
Exactly. So the know, like, and trust factor is something that you pour into your students. Tell us a little bit about the teaching that you do, because I know that lights you up.
Well, that I taught for about 33 years in the college level, and I taught interior design. It was basically I taught kind of the whole range of classes. The last probably 10 years that I taught was their final capstone class that they took, where they put everything into the class that they learned throughout the whole entire time in school and put it into one big project. But it was interesting because I taught the way that I do business, and so that way they get a real world experience. And so a lot of them have come back to say that they wouldn't be where they are without me having me as an instructor. So I know that I've had that deal, but that when you see that light bulb come on in their eyes, that's the golden ticket. And it's just to know that you've affected that person's life for the rest of their life. That's the beauty of it.
Well, you are a Willy Wonka fan, because you've mentioned that golden ticket a couple times, and I'm a Willy Wonka fan too.
It's just,
but it is. I mean, it's the gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, and that's so important these days. Is that being able to help people live a better life, by us being in their life. I mean, that what better honor can we have in helping people? I mean, it's just,
Not only are you a teacher, but you're a great student. You're a student of Jack Canfield. What are some of the key elements and some of the things that he's really poured into you that have affected and impacted your life?
Well, one of the biggest things, and I'd teach that the first day of class every semester that I taught, is that there's a little equation called E plus R equals O. And E is the event. It happened. You can't change it. It's in the past. But it's your response to the event that will determine your outcome.
Exactly.
And so, but your response is totally your choice. You get to choose what your response is.
Right.
But here's the thing. Why choose a response that's going to give you an outcome you don't want, rather than choose a response that's going to give you the outcome that you do want?
Well, because it's a part of that thing we call an expectation, that we expect someone else is going to do something. And also it is that flight, what is it? Fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's an immediate reaction. I've got to act immediately instead of giving yourself time to breathe and process it. I woke up at 60 years old, which was, a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, and with that,
how is April, how are you going to respond? Is it really that important? Are you going to give yourself time? Are you going to consider the other person's point of view before you go from a flicker to a flame?
Yeah. Well, the thing with that also is, because your response is your choice makes you 100% responsible for the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's where the it breaks down, because people a lot of times don't want to take responsibility for the choices that they make. And I see that in the students a lot of times. And so when they didn't make the grade they wanted, they came in and we talked about their aspects of the project. I said, well, because they have a check sheet at the very beginning of everything that's supposed to be in the project. So we just go down the checklist. Where is this? Well, it's not in there. Well, where was this? Well, it's not in there. And so by the time we do 3 or 4 of them, I said, you made the choice to not use the checklist to not get these points. Yes. Your response to what you have to do is going to determine your grade at the end of the year. And I said, so you made the choice to not use the checklist. You made the choice to not put these in. That's why you got the D or the F.
Oh, my goodness.
Like,
D or an F. That's tough. That is tough, especially, but again, doing the work, showing up,
yes,
and delivering. A lot of people, I don't care what you do, they don't show up and do the work. They have these great coaches, they have these great mentors, they put all this money in personal development, and then they don't want to apply it.
And in
information
life,
is only powerful when it's applied.
Yeah, but in interior design, we always have to be aware of the attention to detail.
Exactly.
And so that's what I would teach in class. But when a lot of times what we do as an interior designer can relate to life as well. In life, we have to take care of the details, or the things that we really want to happen are not going to happen. And sometimes, well, for me, you're saying, the truth and what it's taught me and brought me and cost me. Well, sometimes we look at, I would say that I'm gonna do this certain thing, and then other things come up, and you put it off, and you put it off, and you put it off. Well, I did that with different things within life, and then finally it was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, like I started my own business, and when I left the job as a design studio manager to start my own business, when one door closes, one opens. I had a client call from Louisiana when I was back in Louisiana. I started off my business with a huge project, a remodel, and never looked back. Well, from that, I got a little bit of confidence. And then because I was like, am I good enough to start my own business? Well, like if I ran that design studio for that company, I sure can do my own business.
Absolutely.
And so we have to look at what we do, but we have to also have the confidence in ourselves so that we can make the next step. And one of the things John Azaroff says is either you're interested or you're committed. You can be interested and just do things along the way, and then but if you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes to get where you want to end up. Absolutely. And so it cost me to not know where I wanted to be, and not have the clarity of what I wanted. And I think clarity is one of the big things that, when you can get clarity on really what you want out of life and where you want to go and the things you want to do, be, or have, that kind of gives you a little bit more impetus to get the tools that we need to be able to get where we want to go. And that's why I developed the 3R model, which is rethink, retool, restart. Rethink where we are, what we're doing, what our habits are, how we think, which is mindset, reevaluate all those things, and really, and I ask employees and I ask students and different people, if you could wake up tomorrow morning and do something all day long, and at the end of the day, you could say, God, I had fun today, what would you be doing all day long?
Right.
And usually it's a deer in the headlight look. But once they start thinking about it, yeah. And so, if it's something that's not your job, then is that truly what you're passionate about? Is that really what you would love to do? Then if it is, what are the steps that you're going to take? What are the tools that you need to get to be able to do what you want to do and live your life and live your passion
and be
live your
successful
truth?
Yeah, and live exactly.
Yes. So you get the tools that you need, and then you restart and live the life that you're meant to live.
So you're in the midst of compiling all of this great wisdom and tools and energy and forward thinking into a book. Tell us a little bit about what's going to be in the pages of that book.
Well, I've been helping people design the interiors of their homes for years and years and years, and now I'm helping them design the interiors of their lives. And so the book is how to redesign your life and your business. And it's taking a lot of the the E plus R equals O aspect, but it's taking you through the process of looking at how we think. Are our thoughts negative? Are they positive? Or what do we do on a daily basis? What are our habits? Are those habits taking us towards what we want or taking us away from what we want? And so we have to look at what we do on a daily basis to be able to understand who we are, how we work, what we think, and those kinds of things. And when you can reevaluate who we are and what we do, then we can decide what we want and where we want to go, which is the clarity part. What do we really want? Do we know? Have we taken the time to just be with ourselves to understand what we really want?
See, I work with Deepak Chopra, and now it is about being woke and being conscious. It's great to have a mindset, but sometimes a mindset will get you stuck. Are you awake? Are you awoke, or have you been awoken or awakened to what this life has to offer? What opportunities lie ahead of you? What challenges may lie ahead of you? Are you
what you said, what life has to offer? Gosh, that's one of the biggest things.
Exactly.
But what do you want out of it, as well as what life has to offer you?
And are you willing to do the work?
Exactly.
Because it's not going to just, it's not going to just show up. So I want to ask you some fun questions.
Okay.
I see all of those beautiful pieces of jewelry, and I am a freak for jewelry. Tell me a little bit about that on your shelf back there.
Well, years ago, I used to make jewelry years and years ago, before I even moved to Texas. And I had stuff that I put in boxes and just kind of kept in storage and carried them with me everywhere I went. And my assistant was making jewelry, and one day she says, "Why don't you take a jewelry class with me?" I said, like, no, that's not where I'm headed. And she goes, "Oh, come on." She goes, "It's just one day a week." And so I said, "Okay, fine." She finally talked me into it. We took a metal class for jewelry. And so I started making jewelry again, and now I have this whole big thing. So that's a whole creative aspect that I love. And so, but I try to do things that bring me happiness and joy. But at the same time, when I'm sitting there making jewelry, it's like meditation, and it's like stress relief. So, and that's what I help people try to understand too, is what are the things that bring you joy and happiness in your life? And then also I'm a wood turner. So I make writing pens.
Wow.
And bowls and stuff like that. So
gorgeous.
Those are things that you have to do the things that bring you joy and happiness. I'll never forget, there was a Jack Canfield had a lady in one of his events at Breakthrough to Success, and she stood up and she says, she goes, "Ever since my husband passed away," she goes, "I really have not been happy." And he goes, "Well, why?" She goes, "Well, I really don't know, other than your husband passed away." She says, "I really don't know." He goes, "Well, have you been doing the things that bring you joy and happiness that you did when he was alive? Are you still doing those things?" And she just had this look on her face, and she goes, "No, I don't." He goes, "Why not?" She goes, "Well, I don't know." He says, "Well, why don't you go back and start doing some of the things that bring you joy and happiness in your life? And let's connect in about a month or two." And so they did. And what she found out was she had isolated herself from all of her friends and stuff because she wasn't doing all the things that she would meet them to do, and wasn't going to lunch or wasn't playing bridge, and all the things that she loved and enjoyed doing, she wasn't doing anymore. So sometimes we get into a rut and a way of thinking that we start to isolate ourselves from the things that bring us joy and happiness.
Exactly.
We have to continue those things.
And we have to keep our brains stimulated.
Yes.
We become these mechanical animals. Okay, I know this, like interior design, that like the back of your hand. You can go into a blank warehouse and come up with this whole design thing. But, if you walked into a jewelry store and you seen all these women shopping, and you say, or men shopping, and you see beautiful cuffs of silver or necklaces or earrings, and you're going, wow, let's see this. And there is a architectural design in jewelry. I mean, I look at these.
Oh yeah.
I love that creative aspect of it. So let's ask you some fun facts real quick. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, Glenn, what appliance would you be and why?
Oh my goodness. Probably Gosh, that is a fun question. Probably I'd be a microwave. That's the first thing that kind of came to mind
Why?
because because it's structured.
Okay.
There's a process. You have to know what you're going to put in and how long you have to do it, but it's efficient.
Right.
And so being able to, because I always say, let's get in, understand it, get it done, and then we can move on to something else. And so that's kind of the thing that I don't know. That's why I think the microwave kind of came to mind first of all.
I would
So,
be the air fryer.
ah,
Because it's quick, it's slick, it keeps things juicy, it's easy to clean, it can be crispy. You use just a little bit of oil. I think I'd be the air fryer. If you
well,
had three,
that's a good thing.
you had three magical wishes, anything, what would they be?
To wow, um, probably to be able to travel the world and share the messages of what my book and things are going to be about, and to because I have friends all over the world now dealing, with the Cantrell family and stuff, and to be able to just go and help people in all the different areas where I have friends and do programs together. That would be the wish, to be able to just help people and be able to travel and see the friends, and it's kind of like my dad when we realized he had cancer. We asked him what he wanted to do, and he says, I don't know, let me think about it. Well, when he came back, the thing that he said was, I just want to go and visit all my friends and dance till I can't dance anymore.
Wow.
And it was like, that was such a good thing. And so my assistant's grandmother said, she says, as long as you learn something new every day, it's not your day to die.
Right.
And so, learning and helping other people learn, helping other people live their best life, and being able to do that and share that with people around the world, I think that would probably be my biggest wish.
Okay, that's good. You got two more.
Oh, three. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
To be able to make sure that the immediate people in my family are taken care of. And then to probably the last one would be a wish so that people around the world as a human race would be open, understanding, and respectable, or respect other people.
That's hard.
And because we have so much division and stuff in the world today, and it's because we've gotten to the point where if you don't believe or say or think the way I do, then you're wrong, and we can't live that way. We have to be able to respect other people and who they are, and be genuinely open to learning from other people, no matter who they are, what color their skin is, what their sexual
Learning from who they
orientation,
are.
whatever.
But you know what? I also agree. And if you don't like something, allow a person not to like it. You don't have to.
Yes.
You don't have to disrespect. You don't have to harm. You don't have to insult. Any of that.
Yeah.
That's like me. I use this example all the time. Okra. I can't stand okra. But if you come to my house and you like corn, okra, and tomatoes, my friends say I make the best on the planet. I will serve you what serves you. But if I don't like it, I don't have to like it, but I don't have to bother you either, because everything is not for everybody. And
I tell people, I said, because they go, well, they talk about rights and whatever. I said, but the thing that you have to understand is that your rights end where mine began, and that we have to be able to agree to disagree,
and not be disagreeable.
Yeah, so like you can put 10 clergymen in the same room and ask them to agree on values, and they can do it very quickly. But if you ask them to agree on beliefs, they never will. Values are what unites us, and beliefs are what divides us. Absolutely. And we see that in the world today. So we just have to be able to say, if you want respect, if I want respect from you, then I have to give you respect as well. Absolutely. And it has to be that two-way street. And I think that that would be a wish, is that we are able to come together and be more unified as a human race, rather than be so divided
and then just imagine when this element of AI comes into it. Good night. I just don't even know where we're going. But I would love to have my brains connect with you, Glenn. Please tell them how to get in contact with you and to get prepared for the book. Are you selling the jewelry?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Well, then you've got to tell us how to get some jewelry too.
Well, that's going to be coming. I'm working on getting it onto to Facebook, and it's called the jewelry brand is Lusuria, Lusuria, and that will be the brand that will be on Facebook. The my email is Glen, Glen, at GB as in boy, A as in apple, Dallas.com. Glen at gbadallas.com. Or you can call the office at 214-752-0997.
Brains, there is so much to look forward to. This man is very layered and textured on so many levels.
And I just enjoy life.
And he does enjoy life and living his best life. And I thank you so much.
And to give you an example of treating customers and being honest and grading that know, like, and trust factor, we're taking a second vacation with a client, and this time we're going to Kauai for a week.
Oh wow!
And it's gonna be a great trip. So people, you can work hard, but you can play hard as well. It's just you have to be able to know what you want, plan it to be able to get what you want. But take time to enjoy life.
Exactly. And you know what, Brains, too? If it doesn't work out the first time, maybe that is part of the plan, because you don't know what to appreciate until you found something that you don't appreciate. So there's value in every learning. There's value in every opportunity.
Well, Brains, there's one thing to think about too, is that we're all on the same path. We're at just different points on the path. And some people are standing still, some are walking slow, some are walking fast, some are running. Doesn't matter how fast you're going down the path. It's just that as long as you make one step forward today than where you were yesterday, you're making progress. But when you get to a fork in the road and you take the wrong fork, you can always go back and take the other fork. But don't beat yourself up for it. We have to give ourselves permission to go down the path that is most comfortable for us. But sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zone to go down the path a little bit faster, because we get to choose. We can go faster, we can slow down. I was trying to do too many things at once, and I was stressing myself out. I had to give myself permission to slow down. Okay, this is what's happening, paring the design business down. And I've been building up slowly, building up I've got a list now of 500 people that want the book. And so, I've been telling people about it, whatever. So I'm doing the things in the background of, getting the tools, doing everything that I needed to be able to restart and do the training business, and, getting away from the design business a bit. Because I want to be able to enjoy life. I want to be able to enjoy the time that I have left. I want to enjoy every day. I don't want regrets. No regrets, people.
You're very fortunate that you have choices and that you have options and that you realize some people are stuck and they don't get beyond that point. But thank you so much, Glenn, for being here with us on The Edge. Come back.
You are so welcome.
What's going on with the jewelry, with the book, with the design, with the classes, all of that great stuff. Brains, I need you to go in and love, like, share, and subscribe. Love, like, share, and subscribe. We're going to put all of Glenn's information at the back part of the interview. We're going to run this over and over again in different countries and different places, because the basic principles would apply wherever you are.
Okay? Yes, they will.
It's all about love. It's all about consciousness. It's about respect and good customer service. Thank you so much, Glenn. I appreciate you and value you. All right.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You guys take care, Brains.
All right. Have a good day, Brains. We love you.